Yeah, all right. We'll try that.
Try it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm sitting here with Scott Caulfield, who's the head strength and conditioning coach at the National Strength and Conditioning Association. We're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So Scott, talk to us initially, if you don't mind, a little bit about the NSCA, what the organization does, and keep in mind you're talking to college coaches, not strength coaches, but what the NSCA does sort of and how it might relate to their world.
Yeah, we're an educational nonprofit organization, and we provide certification and education. So we provide three main audience groups: our strength and conditioning coaches, personal trainers, and tactical strength and conditioning coaches, or tactical facilitators we call them. We try and provide information and continuing education for all those audience groups. If we're talking specifically college groups, we're going to provide information for sport coaches that's basic as well as more advanced. So collegiate strength coaches, professional strength coaches that want to get certified through us and go through our courses and keep up to date on the newest stuff that's coming out in sports performance.
And so we've, in our course at the University of Washington, we've been going through and teaching actually certain elements out of the NSCA's Basics of Strength and Conditioning manual. That seems to be a really consumable way of kind of disseminating the core principles behind the strength and conditioning industry to non-strength coaches. What else would you recommend? Do you have other resources in mind or other places? Say we've got some students that absolutely love the content and they're sitting here in the 10th week and thinking, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I want to learn more about it. What do you think next steps? What would you recommend for resources that they go look for?
Well, we actually have kind of like what I'd call a career path. So the base of the career path is to become an associate member. To become an associate member, you actually get that book that you're talking about, the Basics Manual, free when you become associate member. You get content on the website that's not just free. There's different levels. And then you can kind of get more involved and decide how much more you want to go. After you've been an associate member for a while, we'd like you to take the next step and become a CSCS, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. That's what most colleges recognize right now. It's an accredited strength and conditioning certification, and then as they go farther along, if they do specialize into where they're working with athletes, the RSCC is our registered strength and conditioning coach, and that's kind of the top of the path, or the top of the pyramid. But I know a ton of sport coaches who have the CSCS, who have gotten it to improve their knowledge of proper training and proper energy system development.
And you never know where your career is going to go, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
You get it, and the cool thing about the CS is that once you get it, you keep up, you continue with your education, and it's something that you can bring with you on your resume and at the end of your name forever. I mean, it's a lifetime certification as long as you stay with the continuing stuff.
And a lot of people in other professions have used it to really enhance their career paths. Athletic trainers, physical therapists, chiropractors, PE teachers, but I think sport coaches are right up there with that too.
And you mentioned the NSCA is an accredited organization. What does that mean when you use it in that context?
Well, I think that the big part for coaches to keep in mind is that the accreditation process that we are certified through is the same accreditation organization that all colleges and universities are accredited through. So it's accreditation that recognizes the learning environment and continuing education. So some organizations might be accredited, but they're not in an educational setting.
Gotcha.
So the NCAA has also made some important guidelines recently that all Division I strength coaches will have to be certified through an accredited fitness organization.
Team room is here.
Okay.
The two guys saying the guys are
Okay, I'll be right out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cut.
I'll let it.
So the big one, again, NCAA recently came out with this health and safety wellness package. All Division I is going to require by 2015 that all strength coaches be accredited certification with a specialization in strength and conditioning. There's only going to be two organizations that fit that bill, the NSCA and the CSCCA. So again, that really shows the NSCA is realizing this specialty and this niche that they need to prove that they have this knowledge and this education, and that they continue that education to stay abreast of all these new things.
Yeah, I mean, in my career at least, the NSCA has always been, it's been the most reliable source for consistent industry standard practices. And I think if anybody wants more information, more detail, get into any of the topics that we've discussed over the last quarter, that's got to be the first stop. And people like you and the other folks here that are sort of responsible for disseminating the proper training mechanisms and philosophies, the NSCA really is the body that kind of codifies all that work. So I think it's definitely the right place for folks to be looking.
Great thing about the NSCA too is it's a member-driven organization. It's a volunteer-based organization. So I was a state director before I came on to work at the headquarters. It's a volunteer position, so wherever you are, whatever state you're from, chances are there's an NSCA state director or even a regional director in your area that put on smaller clinics and networking events at the state and local level to do the same thing that we do on a national level every year.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us.
Appreciate it.